Hey, welcome to another episode of DasAWrap.
So jovial.
A podcast where we talk about film, TV, creative storytelling from an independent perspective.
Oh, see, you be throwing me off because I'm expecting the usual, but you be like, perspective. And I'm like, POV.
Oh, point of view. Point of view. There it is.
Look, the more I do this, the more I feel like I'm throwing up signs of some type.
Okay.
What are we talking about today, Nat?
I'm Annette.
And I'm Naomi. And today's episode will be part two of the big jump. And we're going to talk about my ongoing journey to leave corporate and go creative. 100%. 100% of the time. So we're just going to, she's going to shoot me some questions. I don't even know what she wants to know.
But, this is a really good conversation, right? We're business partners, but we're in different parts of our journey. And so it's just really interesting to see how far you've come in the last, 5 years, but really 2 years.
Since Tuesday. Yeah.
Because it's a change in mindset and it's a desire and it's a commitment. I'm really proud of the work that you are doing and wherever you land, I know it's for you.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a really good conversation. Yep. Anybody that's along the same lines or thinking about it or whatever the purpose is. So we have a really good show today.
We do.
But first,
who be talking?
We be talking.
Who be talking?
We be talking. What you talking about, Nay?
Okay. So I've discovered something. This week I found I'm just going to talk about two shows. One's a podcast and one's on television. And the first one is on AMC. I think it's AMC or AMC Plus. It's called Dark Winds. So I just saw a preview of this and I was like, I loved it instantly. Didn't even really know what the storyline was about. But what I love about this show is it is a predominantly Native American First Nation cast.
Okay, I was thinking that because it's called Dark Winds.
Okay.
That's the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, First Nation.
You see how you are, Nat? It's freaky sometimes. And it's the story. I love the story because it is First Nation, right? And it is in I believe it is being filmed in Navajo Nation.
Oh wow.
The beauty, the cinematography of the location, right? How these how they just connect to the earth and connect to nature. And how they are consistently battling the white man. And it's modern. And what I love about it is actually set in my favorite year, 1971.
Shout out all the babies in 1971. Stand up.
I love it. I love it. It has some supernatural elements because of their beliefs in supernatural things and
connected to the earth.
Connected to the earth
and spirit. Yeah.
And it is just marvelous. And I think I love it so much because I am seeing First Nation people telling their story.
Okay.
I'm telling a story.
But it's through their lens and not lens of the white man.
It very much feels like it is through their lens. You are getting three-dimensional people.
Okay.
And not just like, the typical storytelling. So I recommend it. I think it is worth any and everybody's time to watch Dark Winds. I think season 2 is maybe coming up. I'm just binge watched season 1 and it was freaking fantastic.
Oh wow. I think I want to check it out. AMC Plus, you said?
I'm moodlegging. So that's how I can watch it.
Right. You got something going on.
I got something on. I get
it.
And my final recommendation, you know what? I'm not even going to say it's a recommendation. I'm just going to say I've listened to 2 or 3 episodes and I like it. And it's called the Telepathy Tapes. The Telepathy Tapes is a podcast. And it's about how they're following children who have autism and they're unable to speak, but they are able to read the minds of their parent, and it's usually the mother. So they are doing scientific testing on these children, and these children their mother is thinking something, and they are telling using an iPad what the mother is thinking.
I have no doubt that is true.
I am telling you in my mind, and I don't care how crazy this may sound, but I feel like these children we are seeing an evolution of humankind.
Yeah.
They are evolving.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And as a mother of a child that was on the spectrum and did not speak, I can honestly tell you, we saw firsthand when my son and my nephew were younger, they would literally communicate with no words.
Yeah.
We saw it firsthand.
Yep.
They had that telepathic connection.
Yes.
And I think that it is always there.
Yeah.
But because we're adults and we've lost that childlike connection, we say, oh, that's not real. That can't happen. Don't do that.
It's not,
Yeah. Instead of being open to seeing something.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to check that out.
I checked out the telepathy tapes because even though they are doing truly scientific testing, the scientific community does not acknowledge it.
Oh, well, they didn't acknowledge a lot of things like quantum physics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They didn't even, what was that, Galileo who said the earth was round? They killed that man. So, I'm going to shout out. I'm going to definitely check that out.
I recommend it.
But
I think humankind is evolving, and we are evolving. And I believe we see it in the children that are being born. There is an evolution happening, and I can hear just in the recordings of the struggle, because they can. I feel like they know everything. They know they can. They're not, people see them as like, oh, they may be
stupid.
They're stupid, or they don't know because they can't talk and blah blah blah. And it's like. Trust me.
Yeah.
They are just as aware as everybody else. Even more so. Yeah.
And for me, when I changed my thinking around my autistic son, not that it was a disability, but a superpower, that changed everything.
And there's a mother that says something similar. She said, when I stopped listening to the experts and listened to my child, she goes, it changed everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Dark Winds and the telepathy tapes.
Awesome. So we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with Nay's journey. See you in a bit.
And we're back.
Welcome back.
We're back.
And before we begin, we need you guys to do us a solid.
Yeah.
We need you to hit that like and subscribe button.
Mm-hmm.
Leave us a comment.
Yeah. Join us in all kinds of conversations. We are really trying to grow the channel.
Yeah.
So participate.
Yep. And
we'd love to hear from you.
Engage with our viewers.
Yeah.
How you like the episode?
How you like me now?
How you like me now? So we are turning the
spotlight
camera
on me. Okay.
Yes. And we were talking about Naomi's journey, and I got some questions. Questions. So we're talking about you and I. We have these ongoing conversations about the jump and
jump to it.
And a lot of the conversations, prior to 2 years, because I really believe your shift started happening. It's probably always been there. But let's start up your family life.
Okay.
How was it for you, who you are now, and growing up? Has it prepared you for this? What was that like?
I don't know if it prepared me for life. Even though I always like to say high school prepares you for life, because I think high school is basically the corporate world.
Well, it's indoctrination.
You're right.
So here we go.
Oh God. I mean, two-parent family, immigrants. So we came from Ethiopia.
Shout out Ethiopia.
And both parents working, trying to literally make enough to raise 5 kids. I'm the youngest of 5. My dad was an educator. So, but both my parents believed in education. My dad definitely. But getting a good job.
Yeah.
That was getting a good job that has pension and and benefits, and that you could be there for 30, 40 years.
Right.
Was the goal.
Yeah.
Right? Because they came from, my parents were, I think my dad was definitely part of the silent generation, and then my mom was 15 years younger than him. So, but the mentality was the same. So for me growing up, I was always like a quiet kid, just introverted, in my own world, because I being the youngest of 5 and having 2 brothers right above me and then 2 sisters. The brothers were always like together. The sisters were, so it was just me.
Just you.
That's why when I found you,
oh my God,
in high school,
yo, I will never forget. I was like,
oh my God, there's somebody who's just as weird as me.
Right? She had on this
really
zoo print.
Must we? Okay. Let me just put it out there. My fashion sense still leaves much to be desired.
You had that on, and I had just learned how to put on makeup. So I had this bright light blue eyeshadow.
It was the 80s.
And when I saw her, it was like the crowds moved apart, and there was Naomi, and I was just like, that is my friend.
That's the person that's similar to me, because she just rolled up on this place with like an animal print shirt.
Yes.
And like culottes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so I was always a writer. So for me, I wanted to be a singer growing up, and I was poetry and lyrics was my way of just managing life at that time. And I always wanted to be in entertainment. Definitely singer first. That was my dream.
Yeah, I remember that.
Up until my early 20s, when I was like, yeah, this business is not made for me.
Yeah.
But then it kind of shifted into entertainment, film, TV, because television has been a central point of my upbringing, because we watch television as a family. And I always knew that I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when was the moment you knew it was time to leave corporate and pursue creativity? Because you didn't have that mentality growing up. So
no,
in
but
this corporate life.
But one thing I would say that was very consistent with me is I was never in love with a corporate setting.
Yeah.
I was changing jobs every 2 years. My resume would be like, every time I went to an interview, I was just like, just ask me your questions. I can explain it all.
Yeah.
I can explain it.
Right.
But I was always just seeking more money.
Yeah.
Right? More money. And hopefully a job that was interesting. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was just that. It was just a job.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until I was thinking about this, and it really wasn't until we were going to film stages.
Mm-hmm.
Not now, mind you, we've been writing stages.
Right.
We've been writing all of this time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until we specifically said we are going to film this that production got real for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was like my first production where I was involved in it from beginning to end, like all of it, right? And I was like, this is what I want. This is the dream.
Right.
I am fulfilling a dream here.
Yeah.
And I want this to continue. I want this to go on. So it really, 50, when I turned 50, was
Mm-hmm.
when I had
that epiphany,
that first big transition, that shift.
Mm-hmm.
And that took me down a path of reconciling a lot of stuff in my past.
Was that when you had your first
Yes, awakening? Yes. That was,
wow.
it was that
Yeah.
The September after I turned 50.
Okay.
And that changed everything for me moving forward, because that opened up my eyes to spirituality in a way I never knew.
Okay.
Meditation, because that's when you were just like, Naomi, meditate. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And you're like, it's not that hard. But just Naomi spending time with Naomi
Mm-hmm.
in quiet,
Mm-hmm.
and hearing them talk to me,
Mm-hmm.
Receiving the messages
Mm-hmm.
that I needed was huge, because that also was telling me, you're not where you need to be.
Right.
You're not where you are happy. Similar to,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get the question,
Mm-hmm.
but I recognized that I can't keep going in this circle of just staying because, and it's hard.
No,
for
you
me.
got the question. They just asked you that in a different way.
So when I started to think about leaving, so I have been with my current company the longest ever in life for me. So this year would be 18 years.
Okay.
At the same organization. And I'm still stunned that I've been there that long.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew from age 50 and now at 53, shifts were happening within me, and me having the conversations with myself and with you about leaving corporate, because I have become accustomed to the comfortability, the steady of working in corporate, right? I'm very flexible in my hours. There's a lot of flexibility.
You have a lot of autonomy.
There's the money's really great, right? So for me, it was work, keep doing this because it is paying for your passion, right? And that's kind of the way, that was the first kind of way of looking at things, was keep doing this. It is paying for all the things that you want to do, right? But it wasn't until recently that I knew that my time is coming up.
Okay, so then when you knew that your time is coming up, what fears and doubts?
But the fear was always money. Okay. Because money has always been, I am very comfortable, and I like being comfortable, and I don't see myself as having to go fully without to fulfill my dream.
Okay.
Right. So for me, that's the biggest fear is I can't. I don't want to move back with my brother. Like, I don't want to go back and live with family. I like being with me. But it's just having these very real discussions with myself of what is really preventing me. And it is, give it another, I could give it another year and a half or whatever. And financially, I'll be a little bit more set. And then I can make the change. There were times when I was just like, nah, end of year, I'm done. And then I'd be like, is that realistic for me? Because your journey is your journey. My journey is my journey, definitely. Right? So for me, it's like, what is realistic for me to do? We have a company, and we are going hard on building the company. And I know that I can't juggle both, because juggling both last year was.
Yeah. And it's so funny because you bring that up. My question is, like, what strategies are you using to balance the corporate and your creative? In 2024, we were working on the documentary, that project, and you're just like, oh my God, it's crazy. And because this is me full time, I'm like, that wasn't crazy. But I wasn't juggling. I have my side business, but that's my time. I could,
right.
You have people that you have to show up for.
Right. I have hours that I need to put in, right? And there is work that needs to be done in those hours. And 2024 was excruciatingly hard.
Yeah.
There were multiple projects and this is just on the corporate side.
Right.
I don't like to fill up a whole lot of my time like with a bunch of things, but 2024, there was just so much change happening in our corporation.
Yeah.
And the work was insane. And then on top of that, we're working on the documentary, and then things were not working out well with that. And it was, the stressors were high for me. And I didn't have tools. My tools was to shut down. That was my greatest tool, was to just stop. So I would just go silent for like a weekend, and just literally sit on the couch and just like, I just needed to not think about anything. Yeah. So I didn't necessarily have, I had the tools. I just didn't necessarily use the tools.
Why? Is it work? Because is it work?
Yeah. I was so
well. It is work in the beginning, like when you're using new tools. It's because you're deviating from a set pattern.
Yes, and
so it feels like work.
Yes,
but those are the best times to utilize it when you're in that fire, because then you're able to recognize a fire before it engulfs a lot more. And
it's falling on, my habits, right?
Right.
It's like, if it's too hard, if I tell myself it's too hard,
then it is. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So work, the business, like, everything was just too much. Right. And then I had like physical issues that were happening, and that added to my, and I was like, that's also too much. But 2024 was a great lesson.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
And that's when I knew, okay, it's time. It is time. I've already reached out to my financial advisor. I know he read my my 360. And I know when I talk to him next week, he's going to be like, "Really, Naomi?" And I'm going to be like, "Yeah, so let's make it happen."
Okay. So, what steps are you taking to prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, and financially for leaving your job? You're talking to your financial advisor. Physically, you started with your trainer.
Yes.
Yup, Audra, what's up, girl? And you look amazing and you're putting in that work.
Yeah.
And I really think that the trainer is a great way for you to see in real time what building a business and mentally it's going to take, because you don't see stuff in the beginning. And then all of a sudden you turn around and you're just like, oh my God. And mentally, what are you doing to prepare?
I definitely want to get back to my commitment to myself is to get back to my daily meditation because I need that quiet time. I also am committed to doing my morning pages again, because I need that. I need consistency in the morning and before I get out of bed. So for me, it's quiet time and just me releasing my thoughts. Because that I know that's worked for me before, and I need that kind of stability now as I go on this new path of shedding corporate.
Because it's a mindset change.
It is, and I am very big on planning and preparation. So I like to get my ducks in a row as much as I can.
As somebody that's here, that's funny. I love when people do that.
My ducks in a row.
Yeah, because it don't matter if they're in a row.
It doesn't. I just want to. I want to.
It makes you feel better.
It makes me feel stable
and prepared.
Yeah, and I like that feeling of. I don't know the future.
Yeah,
but I have in my. I just want to feel like okay, I am where I've done my work.
You did your work. Yeah.
And I'm ready for the next challenge.
Yeah. Talking about mindset, as you transition, are you listening to any podcasts about like mindset changing or like business podcasts or shows or reading any books that help you?
Forget the books. Like for me, and
everything
let me take
is
that
audio.
back. I don't absorb through books, right? Any sort of self-help, I don't take it in through books. I'm a visual learner.
Okay.
Or auditory. Like I like to hear and I like to see.
Oh, okay.
So for me, it is YouTube. First of all, YouTube is life. I just want to say that. Michael Beckwith, always Iyanla. I'm still looking for the ones that resonate with me. But I love that you constantly share things with me that I'm also taking in as well. I feel like YouTube is now, I feel like they know me. Yeah. So they'll be like random things that just pop up. And I'm telling you, it freaks me out sometimes because I'll have a thought and then there'll be a YouTube.
Yeah.
It just, I open it up and it's there. There'll be a video and I'm just like, okay, this is for me.
Right.
I receive it. Like there isn't anything specifically, but I am taking in and listening to others talk about either their journey or what they've experienced or just giving me like more. Sometimes I just need the scientific information. Right. Yeah. So that's how I am getting my direction.
Okay. And so how are you ensuring that your creative work, you're staying fulfilled there while you're in corporate?
I started this year. I changed my hours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting earlier in the day. I'm starting earlier in the day so I can finish in time, like finish earlier in the afternoon, and I'm dedicating time for me, right? And that time is, if it's Girl Co Media, if it's creative stuff, I'm really hyped about creating some things on YouTube. Just kind of flexing my creative muscles and using different kind of softwares to see, because I don't necessarily my creativity normally is in writing. But I'm going to kind of use that with some visuals and see where I can go. But
that's exciting.
It is. It is. And I've been fighting anything related to like editing and whatnot because my time at the Art Institute of Philadelphia has scarred me. That was a time in the early 90s.
That's so funny.
But I'm choosing not to fear learning something new with technology.
Wow.
I'm choosing not to fear that.
I love that you say that. Choosing.
Yes.
Right? Because fear is a choice. That was a good gem.
Yeah.
Choosing not to fear. I love that.
Yeah, because I've told myself for many years, even when we had a previous podcast and I was editing that bad boy in GarageBand and I was like, Net.
Oh my gosh.
This isn't for me. But I'm realizing that what I tell myself.
Oh my gosh. That is so true, because when you latch on to something and you literally, you hold on to that, like it's not for me, when only thing you have to do is just go like that, and it would
I could do it.
It would make, I think so.
Yeah.
That has to be eye-opening for you.
It is. And it's great because I feel like now just in thinking that way, I am opening myself up to try different things.
Right.
And it feels exciting to me.
Right.
Whereas before I assumed that it would not feel great and it would feel like work and I would hate it.
Right. But when you tell yourself you can or you can't, you're right.
Right.
Right. So if it's hard, you're right. It's going to be hard and it's going to be unsatisfactory and it's going to be taxing. But when you tell yourself you can do it,
you're right.
You're right. Even though it might be hard, but you're still right. Yeah. I mean, because even with the old podcast, when we look back at all that we accomplished,
I know.
But those are the receipts. Yes, so if you can constantly give yourself those receipts whenever, that fear tries to creep in, like those are the receipts.
Yeah. And there's so much going on for us.
Yeah.
And that is so exciting.
No, it is.
It is so exciting that it's like, no, do we know what's going to happen tomorrow? No, but I can tell you what we can do today.
Yep.
Right?
That's it.
We're living now.
I'm getting those deal memos out today.
So like that's the exciting, that's where I choose to live.
Right.
Right? I choose to live in those experiences that align with where it is that I want to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't see the future. I don't know what's coming. Right. But I know today.
Right.
I know right now even. So I've decided to just choose to live in that.
Okay. And what advice would you give someone?
Get out. Get out. It wasn't just a movie. No, finish your question. What
advice would you give someone who feels ready to take the leap but hesitates due to fear of the unknown? Because that was Naomi from 1971
to 2 days ago,
to like last Thursday. No, I would literally say 2019. Because that trip we took to Ethiopia, that was your first awakening. But I don't think that you knew that was your awakening.
No, you know why? Because I hadn't slept in 9 days.
Yeah, but
But yes,
but coming back, that was literally
because that experience,
it broke you.
It did.
Yeah.
On the mountain.
Yeah. No, we were literally.
I was broken on a mountain.
Yeah.
I know there's a part of my soul that's still there.
And that was the old Naomi, and that's good, right?
Yeah.
Because you were really holding on to I can't. Mm-hmm. When you were in a position where you had to. Right. It didn't matter. Right. We were too far in. You could not
turn back.
The only way that she could turn back is if she died on that mountain.
And I did. I know I did.
And yeah.
I have never felt thirst the way I felt it on that journey up this mountain, and it was hot. And the water that they were giving me was also hot.
Mm-hmm. It was hot for all of us.
It was, And
But, and I knew she could do it. But she was constantly telling herself that she couldn't. And I had to let you have that space, right? Because it was something that you had to work out.
Yeah, because I was feeling it in my body was telling me.
Yeah.
If you don't get water,
right,
you're not going to make it off of here, right? Like, but I felt like my body was telling me one thing, but my mind was telling me something as well. And but I that trip was a journey. My only advice, the advice I would give is, honestly trust who you are and trust that what you've always wanted it's been there for a reason. Mm-hmm. If you're telling me, like me, I knew from the time I was a kid, I wanted to be in television. I didn't know what, but I was like, I love this. This is great. The storytelling. I loved all of it. And I knew that that's what I wanted to be. But my journey wasn't like everybody's journey, right? And in this society, they tell you these are the steps that you need to take. Yeah. So if you don't take the steps of going into college,
successful.
Getting a degree,
finding your mate in college, getting married.
Well, first it's doing an internship at some network, and all of the entertainment related steps, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you don't do those things. Mm-hmm. Then you can never be what you want to be.
Of course.
And so even though I had the dream and the desire, I allowed the world to tell me you did not meet certain criteria to get to where you needed to be. Yep. And what I love though, as the internet came online for all of us, I began to see that technology is telling me a different story. Yeah. Technology is telling me I can create for myself. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, child, you right on time. Yep.
So I guess don't allow anyone,
including yourself,
to tell you that you can't do. Because in this day and age, whatever it is, you can absolutely do it. Yeah. You can do it. We have all seen people who are 70 and finally going to college because that was one of their, that was a dream. People are.
Or was that lady that was 80 and she always wanted to be an actress and she was in Black Panther?
Yes.
80.
Yes.
I mean, 80.
Yes. And she fulfilled that dream. So it's like, my advice is don't allow whatever age you are.
Yeah.
To define whether you pursue it or not.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, because age means it's experience, and embrace it. But that should in no way play a part in you pursuing what you want to pursue.
Yeah.
And the corporate thing, I get it. Mm-hmm. I know the money is good most of the time.
The golden
handcuffs.
Golden handcuffs.
Yeah. Yes. Because the benefit, they give you all these things, and especially in this society that tell you this is what you should strive for. You're at a great company. You're making good money. Why would you want to leave this? And it's like, but this isn't my dream.
Mm-hmm. What doesn't make you happy, right?
And
like that joy,
right?
Because happy is, the sun is shining. Oh, I'm happy. But
You're right.
there's a joy, and no one can take that away.
And
like
that's
the world
what
can't take that away.
Exactly. And that's what you need to keep achieving. That's what you need to keep going after and making it happen for yourself, is that joy, whatever it is.
Okay. So before we go to commercial, you said something about trust yourself. Do you trust yourself now?
Me and Nate tight. I feel like with each day, each moment, each trial and tribulation.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the lessons
all
are.
those the change that happens, and being in it and allowing it to happen and just go with it. That's been 2024. I was consistently telling myself, girl, just go with it.
Okay.
Don't fight it. Just go with it, because it's going to happen regardless.
Right.
Go with it.
Yeah. And what's the lesson?
And pull what you can out of it.
That lesson?
Because the Naomi before and the Naomi after is Naomi's at the start of 2024, and the one that
I think
finished 2024.
2023, where you literally put the money to bet on yourself. Yeah. And to bet on Girl Code Media.
Yeah.
So, all right. Wow. This was great. Nay in the house. So, we are going to take a break.
Yeah. I need some water. I'm hot.
And we will be back in a second.
That was a lot.
That was something.
Eye-opening.
Seeing you in a different perspective, to see that growth. You dropped some gems, choosing not to fear. Listen, I took notes, mental notes.
It's going to be on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Real soon.
Right? Right. That's exactly what I was thinking. So.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it.
Please, like we said before, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment so we can grow this channel. But mainly, I would love to hear your stories of corporate to creative, corporate to whatever.
Yeah. Or staying in corporate and
loving it.
And incorporating more creativity. Yes. How are you doing that?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Tell us your story. Okay?
Yep.
All right.
That's a wrap. We'll see you next time.